Hey everyone, today we're going to take a look at two very similar watches, two awesome watches that I really like. We're going to take a look at the comparison side by side of the features as well as some demonstrations, and at the end I'm going to tell you which one I tip my hat to. That being said, they are both fantastic watches and I don't think you can go wrong with either one. So stick with me. My name's Ben and you're watching Living Survival. So as I said, today we're going to look at two fantastic watches. We're going to compare the brand new Suunto Traverse Alpha GPS watch against the previously reviewed Garmin Fenix 3. So let's first take a look at the physical appearance of both of these watches, both very similar in size. The watch face itself is actually pretty much identical. You have a little bit nicer display on the Fenix 3. You have 218 by 218 pixels. It's a transflective MIP display, whereas you have the matrix display similar to what you had on the Suunto Core. I prefer the matrix display. I just like the way it looks. This is more like a sort of an Apple Watch display, although as you'll see in a moment, this display does do a little bit better in sunlight. As far as the appearance goes, other than that, both weigh about the same, 75 grams and 78 grams, probably because the strap is a little bit heavier with this silicone strap. Now you can get different straps, and the Alpha comes with this foliage color or black color. So you can see that the watch faces are pretty similar here, just a little bit bigger with the Fenix 3. As far as thickness goes, they're pretty much identical in that respect as well. Both fairly thick watches, but they do have the GPS built in, for example, so you have a little bit of thickness there. Both very comfortable watches. I'd have to say the Fenix is probably just a little bit more comfortable, especially at first. This band is kind of stiff at first. It does take a few weeks for it to kind of wear into your wrist. After that, it does become quite comfortable. One thing that I found is kind of annoying is these metal clips here that the excess of the strap goes through. When you're doing things like working on a computer, it'll clang on the computer, whereas it doesn't do it so much on the Garmin, so something to consider there. So we can zoom in and look at the back of the case here. Both very well built, both very heavy duty in their construction. You can see how the straps attached there, pretty similar as far as mode buttons go. You sort of have just a standard mode button that gets you into the options. You can see that they're flipped on these two watches though. You have the 3 on the right side of the Suunto and you have the 3 on the left side of the Fenix. So for me being left-handed, this one does work a little bit better since I wear it on my right wrist. But either way, it's very easy to use. As far as the display goes here, these both have the sapphire crystal, so they're both going to be very, very scratch resistant. You can see that I've scuffed up the bezel just a little bit on the Garmin, whereas this Suunto has sort of this knurling on it on the bezel, which I like a little bit better, and I haven't managed to scratch that at all yet. So very similar in appearance. I think comfort, the Fenix is just a little bit more comfortable, but looks-wise, I sort of like the appearance of the display on the Suunto a little bit better. The buttons on the Suunto are also labeled here. You can see that they have some knurling on them, so you can see like light and next, and I believe that one says start. Same with the other side. There is some text over the buttons there. On the Garmin, you just have these little icons, like a power icon, and things like that with no text and no knurling on those either. Now you can negative out the display on the Core, which we'll look at again when we take the light out in the sunlight. But I like the sort of light or the dark on the light background here. You can also change the background on the Fenix. You can change the color and have several different watch faces on this one, which is cool as well. So you can put like an analog watch face on this instead of the digital. So that's pretty cool as well. So a little bit more customization as far as the display itself or the main display goes on the Garmin. Features wise, they're both pretty identical as well. You know, you can change the way that the face looks with not only the face itself on the fenix, but you can also, you know, change what you have on the displays here, such as, you know, battery life, date, sunrise, sunset, dual time, which the Suunto has, and also your steps or your activity tracking. On the fenix, you can do things like put different widgets on here that you use the selector to scroll through the widgets. So you can turn these widgets on or off. So you can see I have, like, you know, an activity widget there which shows my last activity. I have my calorie tracker hooked up there, your main display, you know, your steps, your compass. So I mean, you can pretty much temperature, you can pretty much select which, they call these widgets, which widgets you want on the display here. So just like the fenix, you can have different widgets or different faces for the Suunto as well. Not only can you change like the things that are under the main display, but you can also go through different, you know, different widgets, I guess is what they're called. So very similar there. You can set that up. You can hide or show whatever you want to show on your display, which is cool on both watches. To get to your actual activities on the fenix, it's really easy. You just press the button there, and then basically you just select the activities. Now, one nice thing about the fenix is that it has a bunch of activities built in, or, you know, basically these templates are kind of preset for you right out of the box, which is nice. You can select those, and then it'll record your activity. On the Suunto, there was really only a few in here: the hiking, the fishing. As far as preset activities go, if I click record here, it's going to show me the 3 that are set in here: hiking, fishing, and hunting. I really only use like the hiking, the walking, and the biking. So the fenix is a little bit easier to use as far as presets go, but you can add in different presets, as we'll look at in a moment on the cell phone app. Just kind of nice that they came that way out of the box on the fenix. One cool feature on the Suunto that the fenix doesn't have is a built-in flashlight. So you turn on the display there and it basically maxes out the brightness on the display, and it does work fairly well as a flashlight. You can see it's much brighter than the backlight on the Garmin. So that's a pretty interesting feature. I do like the you know, flashlight feature and the red light feature on the Suunto a little bit better over the Garmin. The features on both of these watches is fairly similar as well. I think you get a little bit better fitness tracking and things like you do on the Garmin. I think you get a little bit better navigation on the Suunto, so whichever you prefer there. But for the most part, they are the same. You have the basic altimeter, barometer, compass, and then you have a lot of features for running. You have a lot of features for, in the Traverse, you have some hunting features. You have some fishing features, like this one has automatic shot detection. When you shoot the gun, it can, you know, timestamp it and things, which is pretty cool. It also has the fishing stuff like sunrise, sunset, you know, temperature, storm alert, and things like that. The Garmin has it too. It's just not packaged into a hunting and fishing category. Like I said, both altimeters, barometers, and compasses work really well. The navigation works really well on each of these. You can put in waypoints. You can follow those waypoints. You can make your own waypoints as you go, and they both have the track back feature as well, which is nice. So it does work pretty well on both of these. So the Garmin's going to excel a little bit in the fitness category, though it just has a little bit more as far as, you know, running and you know, working out and things like that. A little bit more features for that and a little bit more capability. To access the main menu, you pretty much just do the same on both. You hold down the mode button there, and that'll get you into the settings. Same thing on the Garmin. We hold down the mode button there, and it'll get us into the settings. So you scroll through the settings, pretty much the same on both. You can see that we have some navigation options. We can look at our history and our stats as far as activity tracking goes. We can go into the main settings here and be able to access things like the way that the apps are laid out, so those different pages, very similar to what you can do on the Suunto. You can actually change your watch face on the Garmin, which is pretty cool. The little widgets, you have the same sensors in both, Bluetooth, you know, the GPS sensors. And then, of course, again, your activity tracking and navigation, which both of these do. So we can back out of the settings on that one. It's pretty similar on the Suunto here. We can just go up and down on our settings. We've got some general settings here, which you would go into for being able to change the formats, the displays. One nice thing on the Suunto is it has a tone alert for like your text messages and emails. They both can hook up to your phone via Bluetooth, and both will display notifications on them, which is pretty cool. I do like the vibration alert that both of them have as well. We can go into our navigation, which we can do our point of interest. We can make a logbook, save routes. We can get our current location. Same thing if we go into the navigation on the Fenix. You basically have courses or routes, same thing. Different activities you can do, different locations that you can save. You can basically make your own waypoint by using the compass, which is pretty cool, and you can get your current coordinates on both. So notifications work pretty much the same on both. When you get an email or a text, it's going to display on the screen. You can hook them both up to your phones via Bluetooth, which is cool, and they are real-time sync, so if you read it on the device, it's going to show as read on your cell phone. So that's pretty cool as well. So both have a cell phone app, and they do work pretty well. This is the Moves Count app for the Suunto, and basically it's going to record your moves just like the Garmin will record your activities. Same thing, just named something different. So you can see that I have a hiking activity in here. Again, with the Suunto, hiking is preloaded and fishing, but if you wanted to do other activities, you'd basically set them up in the app, and then they would sync to the phone. So I found that kind of to be a pain. I'd rather they were just set up from the get-go like they are with the Fenix. Basically, as you do an activity, it's just going to show all the different things that the watch is calculating, like duration, your altitude, ascent, descent, average speed, and things like that. One really nice thing that I do like about the Moves Count app is that you can control all the settings on the watch from the app. So that's really nice. So you can make those changes. You don't have to go through the menus and things like that on the watch. So again, in here it's called sport modes, and right now just loaded is fishing, hunting, and hiking. We could add a new one, like we could add walking or running. Again, it's nice that they're already preloaded on the Fenix, but you can definitely do them on here. And then here's the settings here, so we can change all of our different modes here. Our language, backlight mode, we can let's see, we can invert our display, I believe, so we can switch our display over to dark, and just like that, it uploaded or changed the face to inverted the display there, so we can switch it back to light, and as you can see, it switched back to light. So that is cool that you can control the settings of the watch. I wish they'd do that on the other app, but that's pretty much it. Fairly basic. Now they are changing this all the time, like I said, so hopefully we'll see some better stuff as far as the app's concerned for the Suunto Traverse. So the Garmin has a similar app. It's called the Garmin Connect app. It is more in-depth. It does track a lot more than the Moves Count app, although the Moves Count app is relatively new. But this thing will show you, all your data as far as your fitness tracking and things like that. It'll also show you your activities. It does show a map when you do a hike or something like that, which is nice. Let me see if I have any activities saved in here. Let's see, there's a biking trip, so it does show your map and things like that, which is really nice. Now, some drawbacks are you can't change the features or the settings as far as I know from the app on the watch, but it is pretty easy to navigate the watch, so I find that's not a big deal. So overall, I think the app for the Garmin is a little bit nicer. It's got those pre-built activities, so if you're looking for something that's just ready to go out of the box, I think the Garmin probably is a little bit better as far as that goes. So with both watches, you can use other apps as well, like MyFitnessPal. They will sync up to the watches and be able to collect the data that they collect on those apps as well. So here's a direct sunlight comparison between the two. You can see it's directly pointed towards the sun there on the Garmin, and the Garmin just has such a beautiful display in the sun. The Suunto works pretty well also, but I think the Garmin does just a little bit better. Now I went ahead and inverted the display there on the Suunto, and pretty much the same whether you have it inverted or not. Both can be read definitely in the sun. I think that Garmin does just a little bit better. So if we look at the Suunto at night, you can see that's what the red backlight looks like. Very cool, especially for hunting, low light activities when you don't want to be blinded by a backlight, and it's very easy to see. And then this one also has that flashlight feature, which is really cool as well. You can see it is quite bright, sort of like moonlight mode on a flashlight. So two great backlight lighting modes on the Suunto Traverse. This is what the backlight looks like on the Fenix 3. Very capable backlight, very easy to read. No flashlight feature and no red light feature though. So kind of like the backlights on the Suunto, a little bit better. Both watches have a built-in lithium-ion battery. They both last a fairly long time, actually, unless you're running the GPS quite a lot. I found I get about 2 weeks if I'm really not doing anything with this watch. They say up to 6 weeks. I'm not so sure about that. And similar time on the Suunto. It's been about a week now since I last charged it, and it's about 50 or 40% there. If you are doing a lot more with the GPS, using the activities, then your recharging time is going to increase, and your watch battery life is going to decrease. But very simple to charge these watches up. You basically have a cradle for both for the Fenix here. It just snaps in and it holds the watch just like that, and then basically you have USB on the other end, so you would just plug this into a battery bank or plug it into a computer, for example. The Suunto works pretty similar. You just have this clip here and you just clip it right on and then go ahead and plug in the USB. So both very easy to charge and both very easy to use as far as recharging goes. So decisions. Which watch is better? Well, I think they're both very, very similar in not only appearance but in functionality as well. I think the Suunto has a little bit nicer case to it, a little bit nicer design. I like the knurling here. I do like the nylon band here. Although that being said, the Garmin is a little bit more comfortable. This silicone band seems to be more comfortable, and it doesn't rub on things like my computer. So I think the durability goes to the Suunto, although the Fenix is quite durable, but I have scuffed up the case on it a little bit. As far as operation goes, they're both very easy to operate once you get used to them. Pretty much similar buttons, pretty similar menu buttons. I do like that the Fenix has those pre-loaded activities. With the Suunto, you'd have to load them yourself. But as far as the features go, they both have the nice GPS. They both have a good altimeter, barometer, storm tracking features, sunrise, sunset, your clock, your stopwatch, your timer, temperature. They both have really good compasses in them. Both have good navigation features for tracking back or creating waypoints or saving locations. So I like that. That is something that I use a lot. If I find something, I save the location. Overall, I think you can't go wrong with either watch. They both have the nice sapphire crystal to them. I think that if fitness is your thing, the Garmin's probably a little bit better. It's an out-of-the-box solution, very easy to use, very quick and easy to access the different activities that you want to do. I think that if you're more of a person like myself who hikes and likes to use the navigation, both watches are going to do a great job. Garmin is definitely known for their GPS, but the Suunto does work very good as well. I like the display a little bit better on the Suunto. I guess it's just because I'm used to that matrix display of the Core that I love and wore for so many years. And again, it wasn't very comfortable out of the box, but as I wear it more and more, this band becomes more and more comfortable, and I find myself wearing this one more than the Fenix 3. So, overall, again, I think it just comes down to if you like fitness a little bit better, the Garmin's probably a little bit better for you. If you're used to Suunto watches like the Core, maybe the G-Shock, you're probably going to like the Suunto Traverse Alpha. Now, I think the hunting and fishing features are a little far-fetched. I mean, really all that is just, using the storm alarm and things like that. It is kind of cool that it has the shot detection. That's a feature that I haven't heard of or seen in a different watch. I do like the red backlight on this, and I like the flashlight feature as well. So for more of an outdoorsy type person, maybe the Suunto would be a little bit better. As far as price goes, they're very similar with that, very similar with how they charge, very similar with battery life. So overall, both great options for ABC watches plus GPS. Now, as I said before, these are both the sapphire versions, so they are a little bit more expensive, but you're going to get much higher quality crystal on there that, you know, as I said, the bezel's all scratched up on the Garmin, and there's absolutely no scratches on the watch face itself, and that's what that sapphire is going to do for you. So a little bit more money. They do come in a non-sapphire version as well. I believe you can get different bands for both of them, so that's pretty cool as well. You can pretty much you know, get the one that you prefer. So I'm going to put links below to both these watches where you can find out current pricing as well as some of those other features that you can get. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Please give it a big thumbs up for me. Leave me some comments on what you think after seeing this side-by-side review. I hope you guys enjoyed the review today. I know you guys have said that you like me to do side-by-sides whenever possible, so I will continue to do that. As always, if you take a moment and share this video with your friends and family on social media, I would greatly appreciate it. You can follow me on my social media as well. And as always, guys, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel for more videos.